For me, this new idea and this new entering into a pilgrimage of justice and peace is very promising. It comes from the assembly in Busan, and now we are already on our pilgrimage of justice and peace. Now, one first thing that is so important for me is that we talk not of a pilgrimage towards justice and peace, but we talk of a pilgrimage of justice and peace. A pilgrimage is something that is pointing to a process. So within the ecumenical movement, we have quite a history, and we have built up strong institutions that help us to be what we are. But we realize also that institutions become stiff, they become inward looking at sometimes, they become very slow in moving things, so they are not so inviting anymore. What we need is to come back to an ecumenical movement, really, in order to seek places that we have not been, where we have not been before. Maybe we will go to some places where the church has not been before, and maybe these are places where the church should be and has a specific calling. Now, justice and peace, these two elements have been chosen as the key values of the gospel itself. So the churches are seeing now that justice and peace, and then sometimes we have already spoken about just peace, to bring it even closer together, because one is not going without the other, that these are the key elements, the key values that we share and that we are called to live for. For me, one good example of such a movement is the story that we have seen in Germany 25 years ago. We saw people moving, marching on the streets of Dresden, of Leipzig, and many other places in Eastern Germany. People who came together because they were willing to stand up and speak truth to power, because they said, this is injustice. The society we live in is not right, and it doesn't allow us to live in right relations to others and among ourselves. So these people had a strong spirituality. They met in the churches in order to meet for prayers, because the churches were the only spaces where such gatherings were allowed, where you could talk openly and freely about the political situation that you experience. And to bring that, it meant you have to leave the church walls, you have to go out into the streets, but not with empty hands. You walk with this candle and with a prayer. And the prayer was so important because the prayer reminded them that it is a non-violent march. This is a non-violent action. It is a walking and a process and a pilgrimage of justice and of peace. So that means to stay peacefully whatever will come. And they reminded themselves as they were walking to say, no violence, keine Gewalt. That was the phrase that they used as they were marching, also to overcome their fear. The other phrase that they were using was, we are the people, wir sind das Volk. These two phrases made them strong, encouraged them, but also to have the candle in their hand was so important, because on the other side, the government realized, and with its police forces, they were all prepared to crush them down. They said later on, we were prepared for everything. We were prepared to fight, and we were prepared to just bring this down and to just end these demonstrations. But they were not prepared for the prayers, and they were not prepared for the candles.